Hello and welcome to HThe's Rock channel. In this video, we are going to visit an interesting structure created simply by removing rock out of bedrock. This top-down rock-cut monument out of bedrock is in Seymenli district of Kırşehir province in Turkey. It is called Dulkadilri underground city. An unknown civilization showed up at some point in history, creating large cavities with tools and technologies we are not familiar with. Could this be a possible scenario of what happened to explain subterranean labyrinths around the world? The entire site at Inri Murad village of Dulkadilri town was created from top to bottom with a machine we are not familiar with. The unknown ancient builders created a 40 meters long by 30 meters wide rectangular hole with 8 rooms and 5 halls. With a depth of 20 meters deep, a total of 24,000 cubic meters of bedrock was removed. Assuming a rock density of 2 tons per cubic meter, 48,000 tons would have been removed from the bedrock. At this magnitude, it is impossible to go down in history today as unknown and mysterious. From the northern side of the wall, this structure resembles a caravanserai. From the top view, you can see that there are 2 rows of 10 holes lined up horizontally on the northern side. As a tourist, you will be told that this was constructed in the 3rd and 4th century to protect Christians from oppression. It is believed that this could be a Christian monastery and the entrance is on the side. Everyone is welcome here and has free access in and out of this monastery, which we don't even know if Christians ever used as such. For me, the idea it was for protection is ruled out because there is a welcoming entrance and a large rectangular hole you can use to come down if you have a rope. The underground city is believed to be a product of Middle Byzantine era because the structure looks like a monastery. This assumption gave the archaeologists a possible dating of 8th or 9th century construction. According to the signage, this underground city was used as an oil production workshop. I think it goes to show that humans came along and made use of existing megalithic structures. Was this structure actually used as a monastery remains to be seen. The first row of rooms in red will have enough sunlight during the day, but those behind the front row is going to be dark all the time. The 3 rooms in red are actually joined together and is known as lounge if translated directly from the signage. It is actually more like a corridor than a lounge. It looks like a reasonable layout to argue it was a monastery. Upon entering from the west, you will come to a tunnel approximately 22 meters long. It is an oddly shaped tunnel if this was meant to be a monastery. Excavation work was carried out in 1991 by Ministry of Culture and Tourism. It was opened to public in 2015 when restoration was completed. At the end of the tunnel, there are some stone blocks and ancient artifacts, and you are already looking at the courtyard. There are some ceramic artifacts displayed in a manner which you cannot go simpler than this. A simple broken slab on several broken slabs is a taste of museum atmosphere, as if they were removed from the soil yesterday. On the south side, there are 2 huge cavities that looks like unfinished hall because it is very big. How can Christian monks do this and then left without a trace? This is hardly our human nature in construction style and method. At ground level, looking up at the southern wall, there is a long horizontal cut on the top section. This is evidence of an advanced civilization with technology we will never know. This long straight cut is everywhere in megalithic sites, but yet we pretend it is not there all the time. On the western wall, there is a cut that most people don't see as something impossible. This diagonal cut was made after the holes on the side were made. That is why the hole which acts like a window was sliced off by a machine that handles bedrock like clay over such a large area. Only a very large machine can do this. From the sides of the wall, you can tell it was cut out like clay. So, for those who believe in global flood and it was mud that hardened and petrified over time, this will be a boost in your belief. But still, there is no evidence that they did it with hoes and shovels and nicely flattened the walls with trowels. Based on the layout provided, it seems like it is a long corridor inside the western wall. If this is in India or China, it would have been a vihara. The window-looking holes on the side are actually more like entrances. On the western wall facing north is like a tunnel system that is very dark most of the time. Lighting will be an issue during autumn and winter where nights are longer than days. Based on the same layout, you can see that the top row of holes on the northern wall is more like doors than windows. It feels like a hallway with 10 doors on the right and 7 rooms on the left. The top row is the second floor while the bottom row is like the basement exiting to the courtyard. This entire structure is said to be of Seljuk period architecture. I find that this is not even something humans would do, especially for protection, when you can be trapped if enemies block the entrance and ready to shoot arrows from the top. The holes on the side are very big, but there is no safety feature. You can find articles that say it is for protection during Christian persecution of the Ottoman Empire. But how safe can you be when the entire structure is so visible, can be accessed with a rope from the top? Lighting won't be so much of a problem with 10 big openings on the left. The floor looks rough and could be better than this since they made a nice 30-meter long by 20 meters high wall on the outside. I would think if this was done by human, the priority was wrong between nice wall with rough floor and nice floor with rough wall. Any chambers on the left will be very dark before sunset because it is about 10 meters below ground level, and the remaining radiant red light of the evening sun won't be very helpful for visibility. The door facade has a rectangular design that is prominent on the top but fades away on the way down and never reaches the bottom. Simple design that fails to link to any culture and certainly looks like done with rock melting technology. This is one of the 7 rooms on the northern side in front of the corridor. This one has 3 steps through the thick entrance wall before descending into the room with arching ceiling. I wonder why would any human needs a wall so thick you can have 3 flights of stairs but no door. It is pretty dark without the light bulb turned on. How was this room used in the past is anyone's guess, but I think there is nothing related to Christianity because if it was, there would have been paintings on the walls depicting characters and events found in the Bible. Upon entering the monastery from the outside front door, you are already on the upper floor. The lower floor is accessible only from the fifth room counting from the west to east. There is a narrow and steep stairway leading to the bottom level. The eastern wall has holes on the side that looks like windows are actually so big they function as entrances you can use to just step out of the chamber and into the courtyard. According to archaeologists, this is possibly a two-level monastery, but there is no sign of paintings or carvings that point to that direction. Coming back to the top floor, towards the end of this tunnel with very rough floor, there are two circular stones which mainstream will quickly conclude they are stone doors. Stone doors are always promoted as a system for self-defense, but there are actually no tunnels or rooms to block the enemies. So in this case, it is said to be possibly millstones. An unfinished looking circular stone on the floor is a smaller piece, while the other better looking circular stone is the larger piece. They are both on the floor at an angle and not touching each other. The unfinished looking round stone, however, has a smooth surface on the top side. That is rather strange for unfinished object. So I think the rough edges could be because it was overused. The center of this nice round stone has a hole that looks like a drill hole. The larger stone, as tall as an adult in standing position, has markings as if they are thread on wheels, but they are suspiciously smooth as well. The overall impression at a glance is that it was shaped like clay. There is some rock melting technology evidence here. The larger stone looks cruder on the surface and has a square recess for a round hole. I don't know what they are for or how it was used here, but millstones and defense doors did not cross my mind. This square recess with a drill hole in the middle is an odd collection of round stones in Cappadocia region. These round stones are money for currency on Yap Island, millstones for milling in Britain, and rolling doors for protection from enemies in Turkey. Those in Peru and India are open for imagination and endless debates. On the eastern side, there is a big round hole in the bedrock. It is so big that we now need a metal bridge to cross over. In the hole, there is another rectangular hole. In the rectangular hole, there seems to be an object of a large stone bowl. This area itself shows that if Christians did this for monastic purposes, we will know what is this. Somewhere in this underground system, there is a very unique stairway because the middle section of each stair seems to be sloped down. The first instinct is that it was due to heavy traffic. If that is the reason, there must have been millions of footsteps gone up and down these solid rock stairs. With such traffic, I would assume this place would be too busy to be forgotten. This reminds me of the one at Gumusle Underground Monastery. You can check out Gumusle Monastery under the Turkey playlist. Stairs with weird design is not our human nature. Gumusle and Dulkadilri are the same top-down rock-cut rectangular holes. One hole is a project big enough to be remembered for generations. Two holes will be a colossal project that people will talk about it forever. But yet today, our best guess is a monastery of Christian origin. But in reality, no one knows anything as basic as who constructed this or when or why it was made. I am just curious about how it was constructed. Monks will need to upload and download fibers, carbohydrate and protein, but there is no kitchen and toilet. During winter, there is no doors and windows to close to keep them warm. Maybe one day, after much rest and relaxation, we might find the answers to all our questions, such as why is this called an underground city if this is a monastery? Why is this a defense monument for Christians to be safe, but the design is a death trap? Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation on Dulkadilri underground city or monastery, or simply big hole without kitchen and toilet. See you in the next video and have a wonderful day. This is Bernie Ong signing out. Sonra Guru Surus Gule Gule.